the ability for us to be able to record the live transactions and create a virtual services out of that, as well as be able to actually use the request and response to create new virtual services for the backends that we don't have access to. And so we have a bunch of use cases there in that, from that perspective. So with the reduced hardware costs, allow the development team to what they call shift left and start develop their code against the other backend service that we may not have available in time. So these are pretty much the main benefits there that we see. It's really good. So we use it to support performance testing as well. And that can scale up to tens of thousands of users concurrently. It's great. So basically, it's designed so that we can load balance the virtual service environment, so we can scale it up as much as we need to. It's great. So that's pretty much the key thing I like about CA. Compared to other vendors I work with, their support is great. We have the account manager that's really helpful, and he helps us kind of navigate through different escalation paths as well after we open the ticket. We never felt like we were left hanging when we run into any issues with the product. I think it's a little more technically involved to get it started, but once you get a hang of it, you can pretty much do even internal knowledge transfer to any other team. We rely on CA provided training to our really small group of our team. And then after that, we first do our internal training and knowledge transfer to other teams to scale it up. So I'd like to see more integration support with Docker for release automation. A few things on service monitoring. That's pretty much provided in the prior version of the product. We'd like to see that a little bit more usable in the future. So we start off with our pain point, right? And then we quantify what kind of benefits that we have against the cost that we have to pay on the solution. And it turns out to be a really good exercise there, so that it's forced us to do the ROI on the technology product that we buy against the benefits and that we reap from the product there. So on the vendor, we like to see the vendors that are accepted within the industry, right? And who are the leader in the technology that we're trying to adopt. And they're essentially the thought leaders within the industry there. That was a few years ago, and at that time, other products are not, from the features and products kind of reputation standpoint, they don't even come close to CA at that time. I would say 8. I think from a capabilities perspective, it's there. Like I mentioned, the learning curve might be a little high. Usability in the prior version that we used, the version 8.2, usability is not great. That's why I gave it an 8. Well, it requires thick client, so we need to install that on the machine, and it's not the most intuitive UI ever. So we like to see it improve that a little bit from that perspective. I know that they're coming out with version 9, which is supposed to improve that quite a lot. So we're looking forward to that. So what we start off with is that we had what we call the Center of Excellence that comprised of a few very technical individuals to try out the platform, to install the software, and be the product expert within our organization, right? And then what we did is that we pretty much scaled the development of the virtual services to other teams that pretty much close to that have more of the knowledge of how the service is supposed to behave, so that the COE doesn't need to be in all the design sessions and whatnot, right? So we actually use the kind of start out small and then use that team to empower other teams to actually be able to develop their virtual services that way.